Before we begin, let me say this to everyone watching. If you've been following the story of Yu Meng Long and you care about understanding what truly happened, this channel was created for you. Here on Midnight in Seoul, we don't rush to conclusions and we don't spread rumors. Instead, we look closely at timelines, statements, and the moments people may have overlooked. Many of the videos on this channel explore different angles of the same story: what was seen publicly, what changed behind the scenes, and why certain details continue to raise questions among fans. If you want deeper conversations and thoughtful analysis about this case and other moments that leave people searching for answers, make sure you stay with us until the end. For those who admired him, the story of Yu Meng Long was always filled with light. His career had been built on years of dedication, hard work, and a personality that many described as warm and approachable. Fans often talked about how naturally he could shift between seriousness and humor, how he carried himself in interviews, and how he seemed comfortable sharing pieces of his life with the public. To many people, he felt familiar, like someone whose presence had quietly become part of their everyday routine. That is why the contrast between his final visible moments and the silence that followed has been so difficult for fans to understand. In the final 24 hours before the news broke, nothing about the public timeline seemed unusual at first glance. Those who interacted with him during that time later described the atmosphere as normal, even relaxed. There were moments of laughter, casual exchanges, and the kind of small interactions that rarely stand out while they are happening. But once the tragedy became known, those ordinary moments suddenly carried a different weight. Fans around the world began revisiting the last clips, the final photos, the brief conversations that had once seemed unremarkable. It is something people naturally do when faced with sudden loss. We go back and look again, searching for signs that might help us understand how something could change so quickly. In those final public glimpses, Yu Meng Long appeared calm. There were smiles. There were moments of light conversation. Nothing in those scenes suggested that they would soon become the final memories shared with millions of people who admired him. Yet within a single day, everything shifted. The timeline that once held laughter was suddenly followed by silence, and that silence spread quickly across the online world. When the news began circulating, disbelief was the first reaction for many fans. Some people refused to believe it at all at first, convinced that it had to be a misunderstanding or a false report. But as confirmations began to appear, the mood across social platforms changed. Messages of shock and grief appeared from fans, colleagues, and viewers who had followed his career for years. Some people shared their favorite scenes from his performances. Others posted clips from interviews where he had joked with hosts or smiled quietly while listening to questions. Those small memories became incredibly important in the days that followed. Yet alongside the grief, another emotion slowly began to appear: curiosity. It wasn't curiosity driven by scandal or gossip. Instead, it was the quiet kind that emerges whenever something unexpected happens without a clear explanation. When a life that seemed full of energy one day and suddenly the next, people struggle to connect the two moments. Fans began asking a simple but powerful question: what changed during those final 24 hours? The truth is that the public rarely sees everything that happens in a person's life. The images, videos, and posts shared online represent only a small fraction of reality. Behind every public appearance are countless private moments, conversations, decisions, and emotions that never reach the public eye. For someone in the entertainment industry, that divide between public life and private life can be even greater. Schedules are often intense. Expectations can be heavy. And while a person may appear relaxed in front of cameras, the reality behind the scenes may include pressures that fans never fully see. Still, the sudden shift between laughter and silence remains difficult to ignore. When people looked carefully at the timeline, they noticed how quickly the atmosphere changed. Within a span that felt almost impossibly short, the story moved from everyday life to an unexpected ending that left fans searching for meaning. Authorities later released statements explaining the circumstances that had been reviewed. According to official reports, investigators examined the available information and provided conclusions based on the evidence they found. For many people, Those statements represented the most complete explanation available. But emotional questions often linger even after official answers are given. That does not necessarily mean the answers are wrong. Sometimes it simply reflects the way sudden loss affects people. When the human mind tries to process a tragedy that happened quickly, it naturally returns to the moments just before everything changed. Fans replay the last conversations. They examine the final public appearances. They wonder whether there was something hidden beneath the surface that no one recognized at the time. This is not about blaming anyone or creating theories. It is about trying to understand how someone who seemed present and engaged one day could disappear so suddenly the next. And perhaps that is why the story of the final 24 hours continues to hold such emotional power. Because within that single day lies a dramatic contrast between two completely different realities. One filled with laughter and ordinary life. The other defined by an absence that arrived far too quickly. Yet, even as people focus on that final day, it is important to remember that Yu Meng Long's story cannot be defined by those hours alone. Before that day, there were years of dedication, creativity, and connection with fans. There were performances that moved audiences. There were moments that made people laugh, cry, and feel understood. Those memories remain just as real as the questions that followed his passing. Many fans have returned to those earlier moments as a way of remembering who he truly was beyond the tragedy. They watch old scenes again. They listen to interviews where he spoke about his goals and dreams. They revisit the small moments that once made them smile. In doing so, they keep something important alive: the connection between an artist and the people who believed in him. The transition from laughter to silence may always feel mysterious. It may always carry questions that time cannot fully answer. But the impact a person leaves behind does not disappear when the noise fades. Sometimes, it grows even stronger in the quiet that follows. And that quiet is where remembrance begins. People continue to talk about him not because they want to stay trapped in sadness, but because remembering is a way of honoring the life that existed before the silence. Every shared clip, every conversation, every tribute adds another voice to that remembrance. And in those voices, the laughter that once filled the room is not completely gone. It echoes. If you've been following this story and you want to continue exploring the timeline, the questions, and the moments that shaped it, make sure you stay connected here on Midnight in Seoul. This channel is dedicated to thoughtful discussions about stories that leave people searching for answers, and we will continue looking carefully at the details surrounding Yu Meng Long's case with respect, balance, and curiosity. Subscribe to Midnight in Seoul and join the community as we keep examining the moments that still matter and remembering the stories that should never fade into silence.